All right, good morning, y'all. It's Friday morning. We over here at the big ones. I ain't got no footage. We got a few little things going on. I'm over here at these great big ones, and so after all that hooray all week for 2 weeks, these people calling me, you know, the new one over here, the potential new one. I called them last night just to let them know I'm coming today, and just to edify that I'm coming today. And she told me that the guy that came last time, they had paid him to cut the whole thing, and that they didn't need me to cut it this time. So yeah, I done planned my whole week around that, man. We ain't got the ferrets out of the damn storage unit and everything, and here we are over here, and we're not going to be doing it. I mean, I would have approached my whole week different. See, they got 2 properties over here, those people do, and they want me to go down to the cul-de-sac and look at the other one too. You know, I'm at a point where, you know, I don't really need them, man. They're gonna need me before I need them, you know, because apparently, and this is what she said, she said they paid the other guy in advance or whatever to cut, you know, to cut the grass, and the other guy didn't finish. So of course you never know, you know, I don't know why he wouldn't finish or whatever. Probably more like they paid what they thought they paid for, you know, a certain amount to be cut, and the guy reached that, and they thought he was going to cut the whole thing for that money, and he probably didn't. So that yard does not look as bad as usual, but and now I'm seeing a fertilizer guy going up in there. Now why in the hell would they have a fertilizer guy over there at that property? So that's just not smart, man. If you're already struggling cutting your grass, don't put fertilizer on it. I mean, man, I got the ferrets, you know, that because I mean, you know, the mower that Drew's on, I'm taking that mower over. I got Drew on the mower that I usually run, and that mower's not cutting good at all. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna have to level that deck out. But see, I cannot level the deck out no more. I'm gonna have to put spacers in there to be able to level that deck out. I'm gonna have to, because the only way I can level that deck out is to bring the front up by about that much, an inch and a half, 2 inches. So the front needs to come up. The back cannot go, can't go down no lower, and I can't put a spacer back there because we're going down. But in the front, I can put spacers underneath that thing, and when I screw that thing down, it'll pick the deck up a little bit higher in the front. That's what I need. I just need to pick it up in the front, because it's cutting like crap, man. And yeah, all right, y'all. So that's a wrap on the day, man. We got done, and yeah. So an update, you know, on that potential new cut, that big cut over there, man, they really screwed me up. So I called her last night to let her know that, hey, y'all on the list. I'm bringing everything. We're gonna throw everything at it. We're gonna make it happen, right? We're gonna go on and try to, you know, I'm gonna do everything I can to make the property look nice and ongoing thing. Okay. She said, well, Ray, you know, the guy that came last time, you know, he still owes us, so he's supposed to come again, and then we'll, you know, blah blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, but see, I've been planning my whole week around that. So then I get there, right, and I'm doing the other 2 properties, and she pulls up in a well, I see a car come out of the driveway there. She pulls up in a white Range Rover, a brand new Range Rover, probably $100,000 car, you know. But she says, hey Ray, nice to meet you, blah 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 blah. So do you think you can cut ours today? And I'm like, you told me last night that I wouldn't be cutting it. I said, I don't care how much money somebody's got. It don't matter. Or don't have, or whatever. I mean, it's all the same to me. So she said, so you think you'll be able to cut ours today? I said, well, I thought you said this and said that. Well, you know, things change and do. And I'm like, I don't know that I can do it, you know, today. I don't know that I have time, because I had already, you know, filled in the gap, you know. I said, but I can look at it. And she said, okay, can you look at it today? And then I'm gonna take you down here to my son's house, and I want you to look at his property too, the one down in the cul-de-sac there. I'm like, okay. So I park the mower, I hop in her car, and we ride down the street there. So I go into the gated area there down the street in the cul-de-sac, and it's a beautiful property, okay, y'all? I mean, it's a Mac Daddy property. But have you ever been up on a big $1 million property or a $1.5 million property? All the bells and whistles and everything is just way overgrown. There's crap growing at the house. Every crack in the driveway got stuff growing through it. It's gated, so I was surprised the gate worked, but it did. So, and then it's got a portico where you pull around, and then and you pull around to where you're inside the house with a freaking car. You know, I mean, crazy, man. Really nice, right? But everything is so busy. They got, I mean, I wish I could have had my camera, but I didn't have my camera. And so I looked around for a brief minute, but really she wanted me to meet her son, which is the producer, which is the guy that's really does all the paying, okay? And then me and him talk money. And I'm like, okay, I can do that, you know? So I go in there, I go in the house, I sit down, nice, everything's nice, but of course, the inside is just like the outside. Piece of tile up here, you know, missing a piece of crown molding there, you know, doorknobs broke. I mean, you know, just no maintenance at all on the place, right? So I go in, everything's nice, it's nice. Well, it's nice, it's spacious, you know. So I go in there, I sit in the living room and wait on him to come down. So he comes down from his studio, and he introduces himself. And I ain't gonna tell you guys what his name is because, well, you know. But so me and him are talking, right? And I'm telling him, okay, you know, what are your expectations? What are you trying to do? Because I'm trying to get the property long term. I'm not trying to come in there and hit a lick. I'm trying to set him up for a long-term customer, just like I do all my customers, really. You know, doesn't matter how much money they make or don't make. I care less. So we shooting the crap for just a brief minute, and he's like, you know, just tell me. He said, Ray, just tell me how much. I said, how much for what? I said, what are you talking about? You just want me to cut the grass? You want me to, or are you talking about the whole kit and caboodle? All these things. There's a pool. There's, there's, you know, I've never ever in my life, in the 15 years I've been doing this kind of work, ever seen a bush job, a trimming job, so broad and so big and so much on one property. The weeds in the beds were like grass. And so I'm remembering all this as we're talking, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't even know how to freaking bid on it without just taking a huge hit, right? So, and I should know how to bid on these things, man. I really should, man, and I've kicked myself for that because I've just never ran into anything that complicated and that overgrown, you know. Maybe I'm just not ready for that type of customer, you know. I mean, so we're talking for a minute, and he just says, just tell me how much. He said, I really don't know anything about bushes and don't know anything about the grass and don't know anything about any of this stuff. Just tell me how much and I'll tell you if I'm gonna do it or not. And I'm like, okay, but that kind of threw me back a little bit because that puts everything on me. And he's not, and if he doesn't know anything about bushes, grass, or anything like that, then he has no idea what's involved to maintain it and to keep it nice looking. And apparently that's not important to him. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I've just never ran up on a $1 million property or $2 million property that is like that. Most of the time when you got any customers that I have or have had that live in big mansions like that, everything is immaculate. Everything. Just everything. So I said, I'll tell you what, man. I said, let me, because the grass needed cutting now, okay? And I'm just trying to get in the door, right? You know, plus I got guys cutting the other property. I got 3 more properties to do after these, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to he thinks his time's important. So he's like, he's like, but he don't realize my time's pretty important too. And so what did he say? He said, well, I could go on Facebook and I could tell Facebook, that he needs somebody to cut his grass, and I'd have 100 people wanting to cut my grass just to get close to me, because I'm really somebody. Oh my God, y'all! I thought to myself, okay, I ain't never heard of you, dude. So yeah, there's that. But I said, well, you can be somebody or not nobody. I said, it doesn't affect how I do the properties or how I charge. I said, it really doesn't matter, I said, you could get 100 people that want to come do your property just to get close to you. I said, but 99.9 of them are not qualified to do the property, so you're just wasting your time. Are you looking for somebody to do the property and keep it up where you don't have to worry about it anymore? Is that what you're looking to do? And he's like, well, yeah, just tell me how much. He kept saying, tell me how much, and I'm going to tell you yay or nay. So I told him I'd cut the grass, right? I said, I tell you what. And the grass needed it pretty bad today. I said, I'll tell you what. And it's pretty good bit of grass to cut too. And it's all over the place. It's everywhere. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll edge and weed eat, and the driveway is 1/4 mile long. I said, I'll edge and weed eat and cut all the grass front, back, and around the pool area, and weed eat and everything, and spray for $500. And I said, I'll do that today. And he said no. So, and his mama is sitting there and she's telling him that's a good deal. And he's like, no, he wants to know how much to do for everything, the bushes and all. And then he said to me, well, I just paid, because I told him, I said, the initial cut over here, the trimming the bushes and everything, is going to be a lot of money. And he said, well, I just paid somebody 3 weeks ago to cut all the bushes. I said, well, they just hit you in the mouth, man. I said, because these bushes don't look like they've been trimmed 3 weeks ago. And I know we've had a lot of rain, but these bushes look terrible. And that's what you get. I tell him this part. I said, but that's what you get when you don't know what you're spending your money on, and you don't know nothing about bushes and shrubs and everything. But then you're gonna put a number out there that you're willing to spend, and that number's not negotiable. Now I didn't tell him that. I just told him he got hit in the head. I said, you got hit in the head on that, man, because these bushes are terrible. They're growing up the side of the house and everything. And that's what you get, though, when you don't know anything about what you're paying for. So, and I've dealt with people that are wealthy, and most of the time, with the few that I've dealt with, and some of my customers are probably wealthy, but they're not wealthy on this level. Most of the time, when you got a real wealthy customer, they got somebody, you never even meet them. Like, I've had 4 or 5 customers over the years. I never even met them, but I do their property. I've never even met them. I've dealt with the property manager. the manager that deals with all the contractors on their property. Now, some of the properties I can't put on YouTube because of whatever reasons, but I still have some of those properties, and I deal with the property manager. I don't deal with the owner at all. Don't even know him. But see, this guy, he wants to. What's happened with this guy is he's put his cousin, his uncle, his auntie, and all that in charge of these two properties. And what they're doing, and you know, this is what I think they're doing. What they're doing is they're hiring guys like me, and they're telling him, just for example, they're telling him, you know, 800. But then they're hiring a contractor like me for 500 and pocketing $300. And so then this guy is wondering why they're doing such a shitty job. So he don't trust none of his family anymore because he knows that's what they're doing. So there's that. So being wealthy and everything, it ain't all peaches and creams for sure. You got everybody trying to get in your pocket, and he's looking at me like I'm trying to get in his pocket, and I don't give a damn. I mean, I really don't. You know, the more I thought about the property as I was sitting there in his living room, I was thinking to myself, man, I don't even know if I want to deal with this property at all. If he's not willing to make some drastic changes to everything that he's got going on there, i.e. snatch some stuff out, pull this out, clean this up, snatch this out, get this off the house, and keep it out, you know. If he's not willing to pay for some removal of stuff, then I probably wasn't going to want to do the property no matter what. So, but once he said no to 500 for the yard, then, and his mama said, oh no, that's a good deal. She's gonna spray and everything. That's a good deal. But see, his mama lives in the house next door to the ones I cut already. She knows that the 500 is a good deal to get me committed to doing something. Otherwise, you're not going to get anybody committed. And on a property like he's got, if you don't have somebody committed to doing the property regular, it's going to look like that. Look like a damn foreclosed property on a $1 million block. Crazy, man, crazy. So as I was, you know, we left, and she took me back to my mower, and I went on about my day. I mean, I got shit I got to do. And so she texted me. She said, he's going to think about what you said. And I'm like, okay. So don't shut us out yet. I'm like, you know, okay. I said, well, I got to get on these yards I'm cutting, you know, in the text messages. So I put the drone in the air, and y'all see it. I put the drone in the air, and I'm just flying the drone, you know, getting some footage of the Ferris, okay, with Zach on the Ferris, and a shot of that property next door. And as soon as I then get the drone in there comes a truck, a big landscape truck, you know, a box truck, pulling up in there. And then I'll see then I'll see the lady with the Range Rover, his mama, come out and go down toward her son's house in the cul-de-sac, and the box truck's following her. I'm like, okay. So then so I fly the drone and everything. About 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, about 10 minutes later, the truck comes back to her property, and then it goes on out of the neighborhood. It didn't have time to do any work or anything. So maybe they're getting multiple bids, you know. But I gotta say, y'all, the guy was kind of an asshole when he really wasn't necessary, you know. Just because somebody's got money don't mean that you have to act like that, you know. Like he's greater than this and greater than that. I've never even heard of him. You know, I don't know. I know he ain't paid my bills. No dad. But anyway, y'all, that's kind of what's going on today. Yeah. It's always something out here, man. It never changes. The drama is always fluid, for sure. And these customers will drag you and drag you and drag you, even though they're not trying to. They're not meaning to. They're not going out of their way saying, I'm going to drag Ray. But they are. They're dragging the hell out of Ray. What do you want to drag Ray for? What'd I do? Anyway, y'all know what it is, man. It's Sammy Time Thursday, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.